Nobody move.
Nobody gets hurt.
I'm Nick G.
I'm Mike D.
And this is Good Cop, Bad Cop. I'd like to thank our sponsors today, Pop McCann Whiskey, smoothest drink in the land. Grab your bottle today at popsmccannwhiskey.com. Also like to thank Friends of Martina White. Visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina has been doing as state representative of Pennsylvania. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond Creative. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com or call 267-362-WEB1 to discuss your project. And our title sponsor, AR Law, arjusticenow.com. We fight so you don't have to. Adams Renzi Law. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet. You get military and first responders discount. That is Morrow Flooring. You can go to goodcopbadcoppodcast.com, click on his link for more details. So we mentioned something about when they might have felt something's going wrong, inside the base right around this time, and you said that they spoke up to Robert Gates. So who would Robert Gates be, and what was this conversation about?
Robert Gates was the Secretary of Defense at the time.
Okay, and they had...
So he's a civilian.
So May 2nd was the Bin Laden raid. May 3rd, Big Mouth Biden, with half a load on at the Ritz-Carlton
in Delaware,
came out and said what team it was that did the raid. And Robert Gates afterwards went up to him. He's like, "What are you doing?"
So this is unheard of. This is not something you would, especially when a high target, high value target, Bin Laden, you don't get any higher than that, right?
In the history of America.
Yeah, it's like killing Hitler.
Right, they have never given the team. Now, the guys went up to Gates and they were like, he just put a target on our back and our family's backs.
Yep.
So the family, we're getting phone calls, take everything off social media. Just wipe it out.
I remember right after that, that's what, was the firestorm.
Yeah.
So was this done intentionally, or you just think the guy's clueless and a drunk?
Oh, he's a drunk and clueless, but he's not stupid.
Who knows? He, no one ever heard of SEAL Team 6.
Right. They were the ghost team.
Nobody ever heard. When they started, we met some of the original SEAL Team 6 guys, which was a blast. Them guys,
God.
we met.
Marcinko and that whole
Marcinko said, they wanted to start. They had 1 and 2, and he went to DC. They would start SEAL Team 6, the special one. And the guy says to him, I can't say his name, but he says, they gave Marcinko so much money, all we did was drinking and party for a month before we went anywhere. And we're at this black tie affair, and he goes, then they would send us overseas, and we couldn't lock nobody up, but we could kill them. And they were laughing, and the other people were like, what? Are you kidding? These people were drinking their drinks. They were, prestige.
Shiv's got something to answer. What's up, Shiv?
So those guys, this politician saying this team, they put a target on some of the guys too, because now the terrorists know who we're going to go after.
They put a target on all of them. And the Taliban said, we're going to wipe out the family members of every team member.
Right.
Okay. So,
right. Publicly, yes.
Right.
Publicly.
Right. And so, we had that going on.
Yeah, I don't think people really, and today it's been 13 years, can grasp how horrible of a slip that was from Joe Biden. I mean, it pretty much
slip.
We're here.
Slip.
He's got papers in his Corvette from the 1970s.
Right.
So
and he's not in jail.
Right. He don't have nothing
from
no
Jump
charges.
Street. So this has always bothered me. And from Jump Street, when I first heard the name, Extortion 17 was what? The code name of the helicopter?
That's the call sign.
Of the helicopter.
Yes.
That's always been the helicopter's call sign, or for just this mission?
For this mission.
For just this mission.
And you know the definition?
Exactly.
Nick?
So from Jump Street, I thought maybe this was a slang people were putting on the conspiracy for a long time. For months, maybe a year. It wasn't until a while later that I found out that was actually the name of the team or the mission.
Yeah.
So which blows my mind.
Wait.
Extortion 17.
To extort means to take something from somebody by force.
Yes. So that's the name of
the helicopter that they died in.
But it wasn't the name on the helicopter.
No, it was for that mission.
Right.
Extortion 17.
Extortion
the deadliest
16
day in the
and
history
Extortion
of America.
17. Extortion 16 sat in the background in case anything happened. They were the backup.
Right, which is normal. That is
Right.
normal.
Right.
Especially if they're there to extract Rangers that are in help.
Right.
But yeah, so I wasn't sure if that. I know a lot of military units like in Vietnam. We talked to someone. Scarface was, and it was assigned to that helicopter squadron forever. So I
Right.
wasn't sure if this was extortion was a name assigned to this helicopter forever. It wasn't. It was just for this one mission.
Yes.
And how ironic is that? This is the mission that the Extortion 17, which
Yep.
has always bothered me. I want to ask someone,
Right.
no better person to ask than you. And I guess you felt the same way, right?
Oh my God.
Stewart to take by demand,
Yeah.
by force.
Yeah.
Look it up in the Webster Dictionary.
Yeah. Extortion
if you-
17.
What was it? I looked it up in the Webster Dictionary.
And you said it.
And I forget the first and the last words were, but it blew my mind. I can't think off the top of my head.
You'll
right
think
now
of it.
what
You'll
was.
think of it.
Sorry. Yeah,
But-
again, I thought for months that it was just something that was termed, a phrase that was coined by the media or by the
Right.
conspiracy theorists.
Right.
And it blew my mind when I found out it was actually the name of the helicopter.
Yeah.
What's up, Shiv?
I know that he's coming out with his own documentary, but I believe there's also a movie on the whole thing too. So if any of the viewers want to go check that out, or his documentary coming out. soon.
Yeah, so there's a movie, Extortion 17, I believe is on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Now, have you watched that?
No. I'm in it. I'm
Okay.
in it a lot, I heard.
All right, so it's factually accurate. That's something that you would recommend.
Ours is going to be better.
Right.
Ours is going to be Extortion 17. You can't burn the truth.
Because
Okay.
they burned.
Right.
They cremated.
So we'll back it up a little bit. The worst day, August 6, 2011, the 30 men died. They said the RPG hit the fuselage. There was no identifiable remains. 38 skulls because there was 8 Afghans and 38 C-spines. No,
Now they had another Ranger team or another SEAL team come back to extract the dead SEAls.
The
right?
Rangers.
The
The
Rangers
Rangers
came
made
back.
their way over. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They
one
made
of
their
them's
way-
in our documentary.
Yes.
And he's testifying that
Yes.
there was no burn, but they weren't burned.
Well,
There
Some
were-
were obviously. There was a
Right.
helicopter crash.
Yes.
But not everybody was burnt beyond recognition.
Michael wasn't burned at all
The pictures that we have.
So how do we know Michael wasn't burned?
because
He was cremated, correct?
they cremated him. But we called Dover about 4 months after he passed,
Uh-huh.
and I asked for the autopsy, and they sent the papers and a disc. So this is Michael's stepmother, my wife for 20 years. She said, "Don't look at it. Don't look at it, right?" So I'm looking at the autopsy, and she looks at it. I go, "Pretty bad?" She goes, "Well." I said, "What do you mean, well?" They said burned beyond recognition. And he was like this, Mike. But he, just like you had the picture of him,
Uh-huh.
with a gun in his hand. You could see his hand, just like you look right there, but with a gun in his hand, and his ankle was almost off.
Yeah.
Wait.
But he wasn't burned at all.
There wasn't an
Stop.
actual
The
gun
picture-
in his hand, but
Oh,
you could tell he went down fighting.
Oh, okay. So he's dead in this position.
Right.
Yes.
So there was a physical body that was not burned beyond recognition.
You could see the hair
Just
on his
like
arms.
you see the hair on his face, just like his face was. He wasn't burned at all.
So why would they tell you that he was burned beyond recognition and cremated
Why do
almost
you burn
immediately?
something?
To
get rid of evidence.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, there's a lot of we barely scratched the surface, and there's a lot of shady shit.
And the Afghans
right here.
that were on board, and they got off at the last minute. Their names didn't match the manifest. They went actually the first set of 7 Afghans. There was 8 Afghans. There was an interpreter, but the 7 Afghan National Army ANA, they were on there. They got off. Well, and the other 7 got off, and then they took off. Well, after the crash, they went to the original 7 that got on, went to their families and said, "I'm sorry for your loss. Your loved one died." And then we asked, "Well, who was it that was on there?" "Oh, we don't know."
So
they had to
I'm
call
sorry.
the Afghan people up and tell them
And
they
tell
had
them
they didn't.
that
They brought them to Dover because when they came into Dover, the 38 caskets, they had the Afghan flag on it, and our daughter Caitlin was like, "Dad." I said, "They're Afghans." She said, "Well, she went in the Secret Service, grabbed a strange family again, you know what I mean?" And while we're in Dover in the hangar, Barack Hussein Obama walks up to me. I didn't see him coming. And he puts his hands on my shoulders. He said, "Michael changed the way America lived. Michael was the greatest. I grabbed Obama. I said, I don't need to know about my son. I need to know what the fuck happened. I shook him, and the Secret Service guys grabbed me, took me outside.
What did he do?
His head, he was like a bobblehead. Like, seriously. He had...
My Secret Service dudes grabbed me.
He had him by
I had him in the Feltonville grip, Nick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go outside. They give me some water. I'll smoke a cigarette, stand. I'm out of my. People were dropping. You see 38 coffins. Some of the
horrible,
wives were pregnant. The babies never get to see their dad.
So everyone there at one time.
All of us. And
horrible.
in Dover. And then I come back in, and Leon the Snake Panetta.
Who took Robert Gates's places. Yeah.
Right.
Well, he was the head of the CIA at one time.
He says to me, Mr. Strange, I'm going to ask the same questions as you. I said, you're going to ask the same questions as me? I'm a laborer. I'm a blackjack dealer.
Yeah.
And then a couple of the other dads started yelling shit at him. And then they grabbed me and took me outside again. Calm down. I said, calm down. My son's dead. My 25-year-old son's dead. Are you crazy? There's something wrong here. Then when he came home in June, Mike and said, you won't believe what's going on. Next thing you know, they're all dead. There's something wrong.
Yeah. So
You know?
was there an investigation done on the helicopter itself with the RPG round that hit the fuselage?
Well, first they said it hit the aft blade, which is on a Chinook helicopter. They have to when they're landing, they have to come straight down and go straight up. And the blades, the way that they go, the aft blade, the back one got hit, and they said it hit. It went into a spin. The fuselage fell, and then they went nose down. Well, that's bullshit because the pictures from the 1,364
Was it an
pages.
explosion?
Let me tell you, none of the trees around where that helicopter laid were even singed. Not one. So, I mean...
Right. So it happened in the air, the explosion.
Yeah, the explosion, but you could see...
So you think someone planted a bomb? One of those Afghans?
I think the Afghans started some shit inside, but you could see, that gritty stuff on the ground, so you don't... we
Inside
could
the
see that
helicopter.
inside the helicopter. You
The
could
grit
see
that's
that
inside
in
the
the
helicopter
pictures.
so you don't slip.
Yeah, so how burned was that
Fire.
helicopter?
Right.
How hot was that really?
Look, this was so set up, Nick and Mike and Shiv.
I don't know how 30 or 40 men die on one crash. I mean, when they traveling at 700 miles an hour like a plane? I mean, it's a helicopter.
And
I'm disturbed that they all die in a crash. Not one left.
They call it a school
38.
bus. It's so slow, the Chinook.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. I mean, 40 miles an hour, guys are gonna live through. They're gonna be banged up. They're gonna hurt a neck, twist an ankle.
Right.
Michael went down fighting.
Yeah.
I don't get that. All 38 people died.
I didn't know that there's Afghans that were on and then off.
Yeah, how does this happen?
Right. How
Right.
does that?
How
and
come
who-
their name's
who
not on the
allowed that?
manifest?
Who allowed that?
Right.
So what we are saying, in addition, is they made a stop along the way.
No, it was on base. It was at Bagram.
No, I mean they
Or not
planted
Bagram,
something on the
uh,
helicopter and got the hell off.
In Afghanistan.
So
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
so stop. So the 7 that were supposed to be on are not on
Shank.
there.
Right.
There's 8 on there, and those people aren't on the manifest.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
So those 8 are not really supposed to be on
Right.
there. So
Right.
they're not screened. Now, did those 8 die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Everybody
they killed
died.
themselves.
Yeah.
Those
Everybody
coffins
died.
Or did the first 7 plant bombs and switch with
Or
their
vice versa.
flunkies?
They could have been getting their 72 virgins.
Right.
Maybe they left
Right.
Yeah.
They left their
What's up, Shiv?
So what I was gonna say is, you have a mole that might have been in there, right? And they put
Yeah.
a target these politicians.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, this was the team that did it," right? The Afghans were probably, and the Taliban, they probably paid somebody off. And these guys, they don't care.
Yeah, so
they
the
think
7
they're going to heaven by
Yeah,
killing
with
themselves.
all their
But they basically put a
virgins.
big target on
Yeah.
the team that killed out Bin Laden.
That's
Who was
right.
the biggest and hunted guy. And the Taliban, they were like, we need payback.
That's
Right.
their
You know
payback.
what the first
The
word
7
that
got
came
paid
out
to
of my
step off.
mind,
Right.
out of
Exactly.
my mouth,
Exactly.
was this is tit for tat.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the
You
first
know what?
word.
I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
It was so orchestrated.
We'll let you get us. We'll let you
Yeah.
get us.
We'll let you get them.
But
Us, meaning,
Yeah.
the guys that got you.
Yeah.
We'll let you get them. Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we okay now?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is, I'm glad you brought that up, Mike. So this is going to bring us to where,
Because I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
All right, and I get it.
that's why you're here.
Thank you.
That's why we have this podcast.
Yeah.
We need your point of view,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So now this brings us to Obama. Why would Obama be involved in this? A lot of
Because
people believe that he has his thumbprint on this and was
It's
somewhat or somewhere involved.
Barack Hussein Obama. Now, every
We like to fuck your mama. Is that the?
Right,
Is that what they?
right.
Isn't that what?
every week he had the Muslim Brotherhood at the White
That's what I
House
heard.
dinner.
Which was,
Every week.
which was a terrorist organization which he took off the
Exactly.
terror watch list.
Exactly.
A lot of people forget about this, and his tenure has been washed and cleaned up.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Forgotten, gone and forgotten, but we only remember all the good things.
Right. What good things?
What good things?
There was nothing
Was
good
there
about
anything
it.
Besides
good about
that.
this guy? Oh, he bailed out to Detroit by giving them
Yeah.
money for the cars or something.
Oh, yeah.
Buyback.
Cash for clunkers.
Yeah, cash for clunkers. I think I got a couple.
Yeah. No shit.
I didn't give any car up.
You call from prison?
Thinking
I got a
something out.
clunker.
Barack Hussein Obama changed the rules of engagement
Right.
6 times. Bush changed it too.
But there-
Nobody changed
no one
it.
is as strict as like Obama.
Favor.
Yeah.
He did it
Our
to
guys,
favor
I don't know
the
how
enemy.
you could be getting shot at, like our Marines and military army and infantry. Then when they were getting shot, they weren't allowed to shoot back
Yes.
in the building because there could be kids in there.
They had to call for an officer.
You can get shot at from a building, but you can't shoot at the building because
Yes.
there might be
So you
children
can-
inside.
Now,
Yep.
when
That was
when
the rules of
Extortion
engagement.
17 was
I wouldn't be able to do it.
on the base
I
on
failed.
Shank,
I failed.
and Joni Marquez was up in the C-130. She kept saying, "Do not send."
Now, who's that?
Joni Marquez.
This is big.
This Joni Marquez was in the C-130, which they call the gunship.
Right.
The gunship it has all kinds of radar.
You
So
can
and-
shoot somebody from California from here.
So she's flying Overwatch, basically. She's the Covey.
Right.
Over top like this.
Yeah.
She's saying, "Don't send Extortion 17. We don't need them. It's hot. It's a HLT, a hot landing
So
zone."
who ignored that? Who does that go to?
Right.
8 times they said no. She kept asking, and it got to the point where they wouldn't even answer her anymore. So
Who's-
she watched
Who's they?
whoever.
The command.
Yeah, the
Obama.
command.
It goes with SEAL Team
Yeah.
6. It's got to
It
be
goes
Obama.
straight to
So
the
it's
right.
dialed right into the
Commander in
situation
Chief.
room.
It's
Right.
Commander in Chief.
Okay.
So she watched that helicopter go down. She watched. There were 8 men outside of the helicopter, Michael being one, and she watched them go from green to red. They were alive, and she watched them die.
It was in the 1,300 pages.
And she had.
And then she told us.
So how did they die? How did she see them die?
Well, Michael had. He had.
bullets.
I know a guy that I grew up with, and he's a mortician,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a Vietnam veteran. And I took the pictures to him, and I said, "Tell me."
The
I took the
autopsy.
disc to him, and I said, "Tell me what's here." And he said, "Well, I said, other than the ankle, I know that, but gunshots, and there were there were bullets in there. They tried to say they were cook-off rounds.
Mm.
Cook-off rounds don't go through. They just don't go
So
through."
I was right. They did survive the fucking crash.
8 of them.
Michael went
Michael-
down fighting.
Michael was. There were only 50 yards in the air. 40.
That's what
Right. That's it. That's
That was
it.
my next question. How high were they?
They were only like
50 yards.
50 yards.
And
5
you're gonna
stories.
tell me.
Right.
I can survive a fall.
And
Yeah.
do
You can. You'll be hurt, but
Yeah,
you
okay.
survive.
Broken
You
leg.
break your ankle.
Yeah,
at
like
first,
Michael.
Yeah.
They said that it was the G forces that killed them.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
That
From
was
50 yards.
from 50 yards.
So these
My
guys.
brother was Air Force for 35 years. He said, "Mary, G forces at 50 yards."
No.
Shiv's got something to put in. What'd
So
you?
these guys were being piloted by the best pilots. They call
No,
them
they
Night
weren't.
Stalkers, right?
No,
they weren't.
No, they were National Guard.
They're National Guard.
Flying SEAL Team 6.
Yeah. Flying
Special
SEAL Team
forces
6.
are always
Right.
piloted
Yeah,
by
they're
the
the
Night Stalkers.
101st.
They're the best that the Army has in
Yeah.
terms of pilots.
So these weren't their best pilots.
Nah.
No, the one guy was there for a week.
Never flew in
Never
Afghanistan.
flew.
The other
Wow.
thing is,
Doing an
Coincidence.
extraction,
With the
an extortion mission
Navy SEAL Team 6.
with
the best team in the
The
world.
best team in the
Has
tip
a
of the
dude
spear.
who's never flown in Afghanistan in combat before in his life.
yeah,
No.
because
Wow.
the Navy SEAL wouldn't have done it.
And it's a
Is
shame.
this not
The
illegal?
Navy SEAL would not have done
Yeah,
it.
we're not even. We barely scratched the surface, and all this shit
That's just.
But we're conspiracy theorists. We have solid proof,
Now-
black and white, that the government gave us.
In the police world, we call it totality of the circumstance. And
Yeah.
this is all
That's what we
piling up.
called it.
We were invited to the Pentagon, me and my husband, and we were told no lawyers, no other Gold Star families, and keep it on the down low, by Gary Reed, who was Chuck Hagel's right-hand man, and Chuck Hagel became a Muslim,
Devout Muslim.
a devout Muslim.
All right, so who's Chuck Hagel? We the audience.
He was in there with Obama administration.
Right,
He was Secretary of Defense, something.
right.
Okay.
So,
So you guys go to this?
so we
Pentagon.
go to that, yeah.
Okay.
And
We had 30 of the parents write their questions in.
Mhm.
You know, we all wanted. And just to back up, my wife here downloaded a disc in October 2011 at the 2-hour debriefing they gave us.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. So that was the disc that came with the autopsy, right?
No.
different disc?
This was the day, October 12th, 2011. It was the debriefing of what happened.
Gotcha. So there's so
And
many
on the
moving
way
parts
out-
going on here.
On the way out, they handed us a 2-pocket folder. On one side was 25 pages of a Colt's debriefing of, his
Was it
summary,
redacted?
No,
Okay.
his summary report. On the other side, there was a disc. So we, out of our minds, crying to, listening to all this shit and the psyops that they did to us inside of that auditorium that day was horrible. Psyops is psychological warfare for those who don't know. And so we go, we start reading the 25 pages, and all of a sudden you can't read it because the ink was running out.
There was no toner.
You couldn't read it. So my husband calls
Admiral
Sean.
Sean Pybus, commander of CENTCOM. I said, Sean, I got a bad copy here. He said, yeah, we got a lot of complaints about that, Charlie. I said, all right, send me a new one. He said, I can't. We burned it.
2 months later.
So my wife puts the disc in, and all these little blocks pop up. And after 6-7 hours, she finds out a code
A
to boom, and
sequence.
1,364 pages coming
Michael would have
out.
been proud of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And during this time, I was getting 001 on my phone and 000. So I called Verizon. I said, I keep getting these text messages. And he
What are
said,
they saying?
that's coming up 001, 000.
No other words.
Nothing else.
Okay.
You know what the guy from Verizon said? You don't know who that is? That's Big Brother watching you. And then our computer, we don't have a camera on it. She's on the computer. I'm in the other room. I hear her start screaming. I come running out. What's the matter? What's the matter? She said they took my picture. Live time. It was on channel 3, 6, and 10 here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we had no camera anywhere.
And it's from 1,364 pages. And then we go to the NSA. We get a lawyer, Larry Klayman, who started Judicial Watch.
Right, yeah, Judicial Watch is great.
Larry's the only one that ever sued a sitting president and win. He sued Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
He's a trip. Larry Klayman takes us there. We go in front of the third highest court in the country. Third high,
Circuit Court.
Judge Leon with the bow tie. NSA comes in with Obama lawyers, NSA lawyers. Mr. Gilligan's leading the troops, who was also the lawyer for Bush. There's about 14 of them. They said, Mr.
The
Strange.
Bush Sotero connection, that Obama's family,
Right.
that are cousins with the
Yeah.
Bushes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, he says.
yeah. Go ahead.
And he says, Mr. Strange's son, Michael's an American hero. He did things we're not allowed to talk about, da-da-da-da-da. They're just grieving Gold Star parents. We don't spy on the American people. Our lawyer stands up. He says, good morning, Judge Leon. He says, in the Washington Post 6 days ago, 14 employees from the NSA fired for spying on their spouses.
What's up, Shiv?
So what I'm thinking from what I'm hearing is they probably had a Pfizer warrant against them saying, hey, these guys are leaking up national security stuff, so we have to monitor them.
Yeah.
That could be the reason why they were being watched.
And that disk was encrypted with a virus that sent all of our information to a satellite we found out.
Oh, wow.
So
how did they
all
get-
the Pornhub did.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
Well, that's strange.
Dr. Strange. It's all right. Don't worry.
They don't call me Big Chow because I'm tall,
That's what I'm saying.
So,
Like to thank our sponsors today, Martina White. Friends of Martina White can visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina's been doing as a state representative in Pennsylvania
And let me tell you, Mike, she's a big supporter of police. She backs the blue. She's a proven fighter for families, women, everybody.
Is she a patriot? Is she America first?
Absolutely. She encompasses, the American spirit for sure. We have a big population of listeners in Northeast Philadelphia, Southeast Pennsylvania, which would be her area. So you can check her out.
Has
Vote
she
Martina.
been in? I'm not familiar with the Philly district. Is she new to the scene, or is she, looking for re-election?
She'll be up for re-election in a couple years, but she's been around for a while. She has a proven track record.
Okay.
You can check her out. Her record really speaks for itself, especially when it comes to fighting for everyday citizens and backing the blue.
It's nice to have someone back in the blue. I mean, these officers are out there risking their lives every day, and with little pay and little appreciation in today's environment, it's been very difficult. And as you know, being a Philadelphia guy,
Unfortunately, that's something that's not common. Should be. It used to be a time where both sides of the aisle agreed on law enforcement, and that's something that's completely lacking. But with Martina White, she steps up to the plate, always has our backs, and does what's right.
great. Good luck with Martina.
Yeah, you can get more information at votemartina.com. I'd like to thank our title sponsor of the show, Adams Renzi Law, AR Law. They can be found at arjusticenow.com. And just to let you know, I know both of them personally. Christy, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, total sweetheart, absolute pit bull in the courtroom. And Nick Renzi, he's a South Philadelphia guy, true and true, neighborhood man. He's for the people. He helps people out down in South Philly, all around Philadelphia.
Their office is in South Philly itself?
Yes, their office is in right around South Philly, Center City, right on the
Do
border.
they handle
there.
a lot of criminal cases?
They handle everything, absolutely.
Are they on call 24/7 for someone who might take a pinch somewhere?
Why, you might be taking
Well,
a pinch
I mean,
that we know about?
you never know. I mean, wherever you show up, you got to be ready.
Well, you can keep their card on you.
Well,
Or go to their
well,
website
well,
and
good,
call
good.
them up.
Will they give me a deal since they're sponsors of the show?
You might get a percentage off. I'll have to talk to her.
Okay. Yeah.
If you used them a few years ago, you might have not have gotten 14 years.
Well, that's another story.
Another story for another time.
That's right.
Again, AR Law, check them out. arjusticenow.com. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond.0. In today's world, your business is practically invisible if you're not online. With so many options for marketing your business, it's easy to get confused. That's where Beyond.0 Creative steps in. They have the expertise to help you with all of your marketing needs. Need a website that wows visitors? They'll build it. Want to reach more customers with Google Ads? They'll make it happen. They'll even manage your social media so you can focus on what you do best. Beyond.0 Creative is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and Google Premier Partner. They're the real deal. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com. That's BIONDOCREATIVE.com or call 267-362-WEB1, Web 1, to discuss your project now. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet, military first responder discount. You know, Tommy, we had him as a guest on a podcast. You can get your flooring done by a real American hero.
Yeah, and he's on time and on budget.
Yes, he is. He will beat any price. Bring a quote, an estimate, whatever you have. Tommy will beat it. 100% guaranteed. You have our backing on that one.
And he'll be there himself.
Absolutely. You can get a real American hero do your flooring for you. So where's your picture get to? How's your picture get taken?
I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm looking at the clothes, I'm looking at China cabinet behind me. I'm like, it's a fucking real-time picture. I'm like, Charlie, come here.
FBI, 10 to 12 years in prison.
Yeah, it's, threatening me, FBI warning. I'm facing 7 to 12 years in prison. And I'm
For
like,
what? What, on your computer?
Yeah, and her picture. They took a picture live time, Mike, just like
And
sitting
I
there.
could
All of a sudden,
not
boom, a
get it
picture
off.
says FBI, 10 to 12 years in prison.
How did they
Did you
take the
did you
picture?
screenshot that?
Oh, yeah.
freaking right.
We took it to
And I
court.
snapped
And
pictures of
there's
it.
Otherwise it disappeared.
Yeah.
For me,
Right.
it goes in that.
I was smart enough to grab my camera and snap pictures of it.
So how did they take the picture?
It was pinged from the satellite.
It
into-
downloaded a camera on your computer. Apparently,
That's what I'm saying. Well, where, how? Like, I don't
I don't
understand.
know.
There's
From-
no camera on your computer,
No,
right?
no, there's no
So
camera.
how do they capture a picture?
They
somehow
got stuff
picked
out,
it.
Nick, that
Oh, I
you
know.
can't even.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
they put it in the disc. They inserted a camera in the disc.
We have a specialist.
When you went to court, did you ask, like, how did you get this picture?
No, you know what?
They dinged it.
They pinged it.
They pinged it. we had a guy, David Siller.
They can get a picture out of your box on your
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah,
right
Wi-Fi.
to you.
Why here watching?
Your washer,
Your Wi-Fi
CPA,
can-
Yeah.
What's up, Shiv?
So my dad used to do. He has some knowledge about this. He's in the cyber security world. Some of his guys that did stuff like this. What they would do is, if you had a Pfizer warrant on anybody,
Mm-hmm.
they would have access to your phone, right? But let's say you had once they had access to your phone, everything, email, your camera, and they could even start connecting it to other devices if it's linked to just
Right.
that one.
So-
phone.
Right.
So,
Right.
like, let's say your iCloud is connected to your phone, your iPad, your Mac.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had access to everything.
So a Pfizer warrant is gets approved when they can say you're conducting or
That's
sharing
terrorist.
information with outside countries,
Right.
And
correct?
they also
Right.
have this thing where, I mean, you saw what Edward Snowden got leaked.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
their own version of Google. They could find out, let's say, Charlie Strange. They could find his number. They could look into which phone, the IP address,
Right.
hack into the phone, hack into the TV if it's connected to the router. This thing was just like
Yep.
one big mega spying system that the Israelis made that the CIA was now using for their own national.
And that's-
Edward Snowden's lawyer was at our trial.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I forgot to say, when he was getting the 0000001 on his phone, I was getting 73256. And I'm like, what the hell's this? One of Michael's friends said, you know what that is, Mary? It spells seal 6 on a regular phone.
So do you think was sending
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
How about that? And I'm like,
They wanted us to stop
Oh,
asking questions.
they were trying
Yeah.
to intimidate us.
PSYOP?
Right, psyops. Well, when in October 12th, remember what they did with the music?
No,
Oh, it was
them
absolutely
fucking people.
fucking horrible. They're sick
What'd they do?
individuals.
So Jeffrey Colt says, when we're all 60 parents, we're in the theater down in Virginia.
So everybody had a mother and a father. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not always the case.
Well, some of them had, you know,
Step.
Right, but they had mothers and fathers.
Right,
That's a great.
and
That's a great testament to the people that died.
That's
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
that there was two people representing
Right,
them,
right.
mother, father, whether
Right.
it was stepmother, stepfather. I noticed that shit. I'm just weird.
Right.
I'm weird like that.
and Jeffrey Cole, who does the investigation in 2 weeks in Afghanistan, about 40 men died, 38 men died. So he's talking about the pilots, right? But we don't know the pilots never flew in Afghanistan for like a half hour. He's talking about these pilots. And I know the parents. God bless them. You know what I mean? They're hurting like we
Sure.
are. And then he goes on to saying the Chinook was coming in. And then all of a sudden they put up, they had two big screens. And they darken the lights and they boom, bombs, boom, boom. And RPGs, and you're looking and it's fire and boom,
And the
And you
freaking blasting.
and
music.
blasting. And we're like, it's only 2 months after our
This is
son's
Gold
died.
Star
The
family.
lady in front of us, Vickers, she dropped. She was pregnant.
And then they come boom and they stop. And General Coke goes, it was an RPG, 100 yards in the pitch dark. It was a lucky shot. And I stood up, Mike. I said, motherfucker, what you say? Lucky shot? All our sons are dead, Nick. Why would you say that? What the fuck is
I
wrong
don't
with you?
understand.
They're
Why
like,
would you?
grab me? They're like, no, well, no. I said, no. No. I got some more. What happened to the black box, which is really orange? Jeffrey Colt goes, a flash flood came and washed it away.
Are you kidding me?
I
Said
should-
there hasn't been a fucking flash flood in Afghanistan
Get out of
since
here. Was he-
Noah
was
had
that-
an ark.
He wasn't being a smart ass?
Nope.
No, he was dead serious.
What's up, Shiv?
So they tried to do the same thing. Obama, Benghazi, they had the
Yeah.
same issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the
Yeah.
same issue.
Sounds like the same
And
exact,
everything.
same
Oh, we're
exact
gonna
thing.
send support. Don't worry. You're telling me in Libya they couldn't get, F-16s to just come roar
Of
in.
course they
Right.
can.
Had,
Of course
had
they
him
could.
in
Took on the
Albano,
Italy.
Italy.
You had
But that-
the ambassador die. You had
Yep.
That
bunch of
fat
Americans
slob
died.
couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
She couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And that was all, obviously, who was the State Department at the time? Hillary
Yeah.
Clinton.
Yeah.
That's the
Probably
reason.
with her
Yeah,
girlfriend.
they had, I believe, an aircraft carrier, and Havana, Italy had an entire.
They could have been there within time to
30
see.
minutes.
Yes.
They were
Absolutely.
denied
Yep.
approval to go.
Yeah.
So it was so done by design. Now that we got the 1,364 pages, we talked to the girl Joni. She'd been on Fox News, Hannity, no exaggeration, 10 or 12 times,
Yeah.
Newsmax, because she was ready to pull the pin watching all them men die. She was ready. She came.
Okay,
really
that's
close.
so she was the one in the Overwatch.
C-130.
What was her rank?
She was the
Gotta
one
be a
that got
captain.
Yeah.
Gotta be a captain.
she's the
minimum.
one that got denied every time to open up fire. To
And have you
protect.
talked to her personally?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's
Yeah.
doing good now. She went to a
Good.
couple programs for veterans, the mountain hiking and some other things. Went back to school and
Now, did she
But
tell
she
you she
went-
saw those 8 outside engaging in combat? Were they
she said she watched Michael turn from green to red. He was live for like 15 minutes
fighting?
Fighting.
and nobody came. Nick, nobody fucking came. You know what I mean, Mike?
And then she goes to
What
a
the
senator.
fuck?
And the senator turns around and says, "You know, you could lose your pension if you come out with this." Then she went to a congressman and said,
You said this to who?
Joni Marquez. She went down to Washington, D.C. to try to get answers.
Yeah.
The congressman said, "You'll lose your pension." She went to a senator. He said, "You know, we could put you in jail for 20 years if
75
you
years
talk
in the
about this."
brig.
Yeah. So that poor girl, then she just said, "Freak it. I don't care." Because she was ready to kill herself. And went to Fox News and
Yeah.
Newsmax and
Yeah.
all over. And she's in our movie, our documentary that's we're going to be coming
When's
out
that coming out?
next August.
Yeah.
Extortion 17, You Can't Burn the Truth will be streaming on
all major
platforms.
Yep. Yep. But there's
So-
just so much.
Let me ask both of you. This is not a morbid question. Neither one of you are suicidal,
No.
right?
No.
Are you concerned about your safety?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Have you been followed lately? Is PSYOP still going on? Have they
Sure.
kind of let it be? They'll never let it be.
They'll
Right.
never let it be.
Well, if you don't shut up, they won't shut up. That's the way they
Right,
work.
well-
That's the way they operate.
Well, Monday we were just on stage with President Trump.
Right. That's.
You know,
I wanted to ask you. What did
So-
Trump tell you?
he said, "You're definitely not the first day," President Trump said, "but the first week, I will have you at the White House with a team working on a congressional hearing about
Extortion 17.
Extortion 17. We have these 1,300 pages. The Tianjin Valley in Afghanistan, there's no electric, so everybody has a fire pit. That's how they live, right?
Right.
That night, it was pitch dark. Nobody had a fire pit.
Hmm.
If that don't tell you,
Again.
there were 6 IEDs Nick,
Around the landing site.
going up and around the landing site. There was Taliban on the roof of a thing. It was 4 a.m. The guy flying the helicopter called in, and he said, "There's movement on the roof." And the Afghan National Security Karzai's voice said he's hanging crops. I don't know much about hanging crops because I'm from Philly, but who hangs crops at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning? And then under the trees, there was a ton of Taliban with RPGs, motorcycles, night vision goggles. They had everything.
Night vision goggles.
Do you ever notice?
Vision goggles, and our guys weren't working.
Did you ever notice that the Taliban are in great shape, well fed? Where do you think all that money comes
Oh,
from?
there's 88 billion a week going there.
Yeah,
Billion.
billion.
Just on the political spectrum, Trump, right, when he came into office, he worked with this guy named Shiv Patel. The guy was a DOJ,
Great guy.
yeah. So
True
he's
hero.
a good friend of mine, right?
True hero.
He's potentially going to be his national security
Correct.
advisor or something in the intel. world.
Yes.
He was the amount of corruption that he saw in the intelligence.
Yeah.
He started putting that out there, and he started becoming a target. And Trump kept backing him, and he's relieving a lot of the stuff that these guys are talking about.
He was a federal prosecutor. He was a federal prosecutor also, wasn't he?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And
So-
he's-
Well, we believe that at the Benghazi, the man pads that went missing, because an RPG, when an RPG is shot, it's so erratic.
Especially at an air target.
Right. And so we talked about, and it said it about man pads in the 1,364 pages. So we don't know.
Don't give up all the tapes. Don't give up on
So
the
where
tape
does
sign.
so where are you at? Like, are you still in trial? I mean, what's going on? Has there been a settlement? What's actually going on
Well,
in the
actually,
legal field?
in the legal field, which was very interesting, Kellogg and Hanson out of Washington, D.C., a lawyer by the name of Josh Branson. They call him the Dragon Lawyer. Looks like he's in his late 30s. He won three $1 billion cases, 2 against Big Pharma, 1 for the veterans for the earplugs that were bad. And he reached out to me and my wife, and there's 687 of us, the 10 contractors that were in Afghanistan for 20 years. They got, some of the guys that work for him got checks and letters, and the one letter says, we have 300 million cash. Make sure the payments are the same every month to the Taliban. And if they need more guns and ammunition, just give it to them.
This is
American contract.
now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Still going.
That's
yeah.
going on.
Wait.
And
yeah, we're
All right,
getting-
I'm lost.
American contractors
Are
are giving to Taliban to kill American soldiers.
currently.
Karen, oh yeah, we're sending 88
Yeah.
billion a month, I think.
Yeah.
That's a
The
lot of money.
Taliban.
That's 800 billion a year. I don't think we're sending that much, but
Yeah.
we're giving them.
Yes, we are.
we're sending $1 trillion a year.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Don't do
Is
that.
it million?
Don't
88
add up.
million a month or trillion or
So
billion?
they're giving
Million.
out 80
Million. All right, 88
Million.
million.
It don't add up. I mean, come on.
They're giving 88 something million a week.
A week.
They accidentally wired them 250 million.
Right.
You know where that money is going to specifically? So I did some investigation into this. The money is going to someone named Haqqani. Is that a name of ring?
Yes, it does.
He was behind the suicide bombings of
Yes.
a lot of the American forces,
Yeah.
and he's good friends, buddies with ISIS and Al Qaeda and all those guys.
Yeah,
and
so
those, and they're,
we're funding them right
he's
now.
the
Right.
he's the interior secretary. He's in charge of all the domestic stuff. So he's made Afghanistan back into a terrorist stronghold.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
They're
it
training
is.
all these groups. They're sending them up the southern border. That's where all the money is going towards right now.
Yeah.
And this guy has access to all the passports. So imagine all those Afghan refugees coming into this country, right? Some of those could be guys that
Working.
trained. Yeah,
They are.
They're
Yeah.
on
I
this-
believe that.
Yeah, and this is, I believe, going down to Hamas. Also, a lot of these.
Oh, yeah.
they're
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
allies.
Yeah.
Hezbollah.
We're funding. It's 88 million a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
The US
is-
I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
88 billion. Not, I'm getting a little hungry. Let me out. I want some of that.
The U.S. Pentagon has never been able to pass an audit.
Yeah, I know. They still
Yeah.
can't. They still won't.
They never will.
Yeah, they never will.
So that's what the law. One of our lawsuits. We had another one going on, and then we're waiting for Trump. We went to the Pentagon, like my wife said. We left the questions from the parents when we were getting interviewed by Gary Reed and 2 four-star generals and admirals, and in the Pentagon. And when we were explaining to them that this was done by design, and I said, well, like on Exhibit 89 in my book, which you and Mike looked at, it says something to the effect that May 11th, 2011, if you want to read it, that 100 Taliban planned to travel from the blank Providence to the Tanzine Valley to possibly shoot down the coalition aircraft. So they knew, you know what I mean? And like, you talk about a setup, but these guys in the Pentagon, you know what they said to me? While I'm talking, they said, "You can't believe everything you see on YouTube. You can't believe everything you see on the computer, Mr. Shaw." I said, "No, it's in the 1,300 pages." You know what he fucking said?
Oh.
I handed them the 89 pages. I handed them some of the pages. They didn't know I had it.
Right.
They start looking at it. They're looking at me. They're looking at her. They go, "Where'd you get this?" I said, "It's the report."
It's
I said,
what you
didn't
gave
read,
us.
You didn't read the report? We read the 25 pages.
They read the
I went for-
synopsis. Yeah.
Mike, I went for his fucking throat.
Oh,
And the
shit.
guy behind me at the Pentagon grabs my shoulder, some dude with a machine gun. It's like, "Mr. Stray, fuck, dude, you couldn't read 1,300 pages? 30 Americans died?" And then they took me outside again.
Yeah.
I
You
come
ended up-
back, I
you
come
put-
back
You've been
in.
put in the penalty box.
That-
You've been put
I
in the
come
penalty
back.
box quite a bit, huh?
I come back.
She's
She's
got-
over the phone.
she's got the box.
Motherfucker, I'll fucking kill you. They're like, "Oh, the strangers."
Oh, my gosh.
So I leave the questions at the Pentagon from all the Gold Star
Yeah.
parents.
They get thrown
I
out.
waited about a month, nothing. Phone call somebody, call down. We lost
We
it.
lost.
Yeah, we
We
lost
your
it.
question.
But this is how.
Can you send it again?
Well, you're just not compliant enough. You,
This
you
is
understand?
how-
You know, and, don't ever comply.
Right.
Never. Never.
Don't ever comply.
Never.
This is how the Obama
Never.
administration
the Biden administration and all the plants that they left in throughout government is treating our Gold Star families and our citizens right now.
Yeah.
So
People
it's
need to wake up and realize what's
it's
going on.
actually it's actually really, and this is my true belief, it's actual communism. Okay,
100%.
because no
Thank
one
you.
is accountable. No one is accountable in communism. No one is accountable. Everybody's the same, and no one is
The state.
accountable.
It's all about the
it's
state.
all about
Yeah.
you're not accountable in communism. I lived in a communist system in America. It was called federal prison. It's the same fucking thing. I'm telling you right now. Answer on paper. Deny, delay. Up, we lost it.
Yeah.
I'm sending from prison. I'm sending letters to the prison so that I can get my rights, which are very few, adhered to, and they lose it.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
What's up, Shiv?
So these Gold Star families, one thing they don't want to do is resurface all the tragedy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so
None of
it
this
makes
shit.
it hard. So people like Charlie, it takes a lot of confidence to deal with all this stuff, and a lot of inner strength that you need to bring up all those past memories, because nobody wants to deal with a tragic situation and bring it up. It's
Especially
post-traumatic.
on
Exactly.
this level.
And when they're dealing with bureaucracy, these politicians and bureaucrats, they just stack up the red tape so much. By the time they could even find out the truth, they just get tired. That's what they're
Communism.
That's what they hope.
Yeah. So
It's going to be okay.
if it,
Right.
60 years from now, it's going to be fun.
We went to Washington 35 times.
At least.
Knocking on doors. There was a lady. Where was she, Congresswoman from? I don't even know where she was from. Remember the one? I never-
Not Dingle from Michigan.
Probably. She didn't know what a seal was.
She didn't know what it
See,
needed.
stamp.
I said,
It doesn't surprise
who
me.
the freak even voted you in?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to hit her so
Yeah.
bad.
We had like 20 of the
It was-
parents, and we would go to the Rayburn building in Washington, D.C., where all the Congress and senators were. And the security guard at the front said, they know you're coming. Because we
Yeah.
brought the media with us a couple
Yeah.
times. Who was the reporter?
Sarah Carter.
No,
No.
the other guy. Can't
Oh, you
talk.
got to love Sarah Carter. She don't let up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she did.
Oh, did she?
Who was the other
Oh, they
one?
must have got to her then.
Big time reporter. I can't think of his name. He actually sent me some information about
Yeah, I know who you. Yeah. He's out there pushing them hard.
And
I know who he is. I
they
can't think
knew,
of his
and
name
you
either.
know, all of a sudden they're
He used to work with Sarah
they're not
Carter.
home, they're not there, they're not this, and you know. So we pushed and pushed.
Well,
for
listen,
congressional hearing.
It's a testament to the two of you, because this would have been a moot point, and this would have been out of the media. No one would be talking about this anymore if it wasn't for you two.
Thank you.
Honestly, I mean, obviously you have a lot of skin in the game. It's your son. You know, it's your world. I don't blame you for doing what you're doing. Most people would have stopped a long time ago. Just the threat of the government. I mean, I don't think people can really understand the amount of pressure on your shoulders just dealing with, you know, the NSA, the CIA. Like, people really need to grasp the situation here and think about what you guys are going through. And you're still fighting. I mean, you know,
They are an exhausting. Yes.
amazing.
They will
Absolutely
exhaust
amazing.
you. That's their goal, is to exhaust you.
So it's very important. It's the Michael Strange Foundation. How do you get to it?
Michael Strange Michael Strange Foundation. Michael Strange Foundation. The website will be up by the end of the month. Our other web page was removed, so it's Michael Strange Foundation. But we bring in Gold Star families from all over the country for a workshop, and we asked the parents to bring us a picture of their son or daughter. And I found you don't have to explain yourselves. Like in April, Nick, we had them in Philadelphia. We went to the Phillies game Thursday, a day game. Then
Yes.
we went to Tony and Nick's in South Philly, got a cheesesteak. And if you stop at Tony and Nick's at Front and Oregon in Philadelphia, you'll see two big glass cases with the Michael Strange Foundation and all the Gold Stars hanging a picture of their sons and daughters. And then we start Friday night with the work. My wife hands out an envelope with some loose leaf, and we ask them to write a letter about their sons or daughters.
That's fantastic.
And then-
Now, all this costs a lot of money.
Yes.
Obviously, fighting the government costs a lot of money. So you can help by going to the foundation, donating. You can go to popsmcannwhiskey.com, grab yourself the Michael Strange.
That's amazing.
Go
That's
Yankee
amazing.
4, yes.
This goes
10-year-old bourbon.
10-year-old bourbon. This helps
Kentucky.
goes to the foundation. Hold on, Shiv. We'll get to you in a second. Where else can they go? What else do you have going on that they can help out?
We do have PayPal still left on michaelstrangefoundation.org. You can look me up. We got Venmo, Charles Strange, Michael Strange Foundation.
Any little amount
and
helps.
Cash App.
Just send
Yes.
something.
$1,
Facebook.
$5, anything helps. Grab yourself a 10-year-old bottle of bourbon. You can also grab this book, which I cannot. I'll be done this by the end of tonight.
Oh yeah.
Amazon
It's
an easy
$20.
read.
Yeah.
Amazon $20. It has some of the 1,364 pages. We could use your support. We got a PO box. If you can, 6038 Philly, PA 19114. Michael Strange Foundation PO Box 6038 Philly, PA 1914.
Extortion 17.
What's up,
Extortion 17.
Yes.
These guys are trying to deal with all the political bureaucracy, trying to get their message out there. But I think the biggest thing everybody can do this election season is grab a buddy and go vote.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you guys could do. And obviously, I've helped out a lot of charities, right? I haven't seen a charity like this that's very small based, but they do a lot more effect than donating to the big bureaucratic
Shiv,
fundraising.
vote for
companies out
who?
there. Vote for Trump if you guys want to see
Thank you.
pro veteran and pro law
not
enforcement.
Kamalism. We do not
No.
need Kamalism.
No.
Hey, Nick and Mike and Shiv, thank you guys all. And our foundation, like I said, we've done 15 workshops. We've done them, of course, in Philadelphia, Bensalem, Lenox, Massachusetts, Tucson, Arizona, Longmont, Colorado, Ocean City, Maryland, Wildwood, New Jersey at the
Nice.
Bolero. Some of the parents never seen the ocean. The ones from
That's
Midwest.
right. Ocean City, Maryland's a good time too.
Yeah.
You got secrets?
We did it all. Me and my wife don't get paid. All the money goes to pay
So-
for the plane tickets, the hotel for the parents.
So not only do you need money to help fight this, you're also doing things for other Gold Star families and other military vets, which you guys are amazing. Hats off to you. You not only do you have to take care of yourself, you're taking care of other people.
Yeah, it's community, but it's community. You guys looking out for one another because there's nobody can identify with what you're going through
Right.
unless you've gone through it. Because I can't tell you what you've gone through. Only another Gold family could actually feel that same
Right.
pain, suffering, and in some way the connection brings some joy.
Yes.
I would have to say because you feel you're safe. You're okay to just be you right now.
That's right.
You don't have to explain anything.
I don't have to
And
explain
dur-
yourself.
during the weekend, Friday, the letters. Saturday, they read the letters. We open the Bible up, how beautiful heaven is. We have a grief counselor, Mandy Love, say a few words. But Saturday night, the cops come, a lot of the Philadelphia police or wherever we're at, and we have the motorcycles come, and then we go to a VFW post. And we have a live band or a DJ, let them get their drink on. One mother said, I haven't danced in 6 years since my son died.
There you
Right.
go.
Yeah, you
That's
guys are
beautiful.
doing-
Beautiful.
I said to her, you were a go-go dancer. She said, what'd you say?
Uh-oh.
I said, you were a go-go dancer. She said, why'd you say that? I said,
I could
you're
tell.
from Vegas.
I
She
could-
said, shh, don't tell nobody.
I could tell.
We learned to laugh again.
I
You know what I
could
mean? Like how Mike started off. You know what I mean? Like Michael liked to laugh, have fun, drink Jamesons, get naked, get the GY4 from
Get
Pop.
some
This Michael, not my Michael. Although I'm down with it.
Oh, listen, we will have you guys back on again.
Shiv,
Like I
thank
said.
you very much for your input.
Yeah.
You've been great. You're going to have your own show with us next time we get in here. Maybe even tomorrow. We'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll have Shiv on, and we'll have you guys again. There's just so much we can
Let's
get into
unpack.
and keep going.
Yeah, it's
We didn't
amazing.
even touch.
Yeah. Don't
we
forget about
touched
the
10%.
movie, the documentary
Yep.
coming out.
Yes, and that's going to be. Is that going to be a live stream or is it like HBO Showtime? What-
It's going to be on major platforms.
Major platforms.
Yes.
Okay.
These guys will be on before then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Make sure subscribe, like YouTube, subscribe, Spotify, hit the little plus, rate us, check out the books, check out the whiskey, goodcopbadcop.com or goodcopbadcoppodcast.com. Grab some gear. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This episode is sponsored by AR Law, PA State Rep Martina White, Biondo Creative, Morrow Flooring, and Pops McCann Whiskey.